Porn has created a lot of myths about sex, not all of them about women. Here are the myths that porn has created about men. This video is brought to you by our sponsor, CondomJungle.com, the premier source for buying condoms online. Visit the website in the description below and they'll ship condoms straight to your doorstep, whether you're in America or around the world, and they'll do it discreetly. Save time and money by visiting CondomJungle.com today. Condom Jungle, hump responsibly. And so the first myth, this is perhaps the most obvious, I think, is the idea of the everlasting boner. Now, regular sex, we're told, not for me, but for regular guys, lasts between 3 and 7 minutes. But in porn, it just goes on and on and on, humping away for 45 minutes or longer. Now, that produces, I think, for some women at least, the idea that the average guy should be able to do that. And I'm sorry, I tried. But they don't just do this because they're naturally awesome guys. They use something called Caverject, which is a drug injected directly into the penis, which produces an everlasting boner. They also take things like Viagra, Cialis, and stuff like that.
They also have fluffers on set. They have all kinds of things
What's
to maintain.
a fluffer?
Okay, so a fluffer is someone on set that is there solely to help you maintain your erection.
How would they, what, like with motivational speeches?
Yeah, they're like, hey, buddy, you can do it.
Okay.
Keep going.
You can do it. The second one is the idea that money shots are just, that's the natural thing. You should just, that's what you're going to get when you get involved in sex. Think about like a young guy growing up in a world of internet pornography. By the time he actually touches a boob, he's seen 1,000 money shots at that point. That can warp your mind, man.
It really does, because, you know, I grew up in a generation that had access to the internet at a very young age. And if you grow up on something like this before ever having experienced sexual activity, like as a woman, you just get this idea that that is what men want to do. And it's kind of degrading. And I'm not sure that, you know, if it's necessarily that men enjoy that, or if they've seen it happen in porn, they just assume they're supposed to like it. I'm supposed to assume that men like to do it. So then we're in the cycle of doing something that no one really likes to do, but we're taught that everyone does because porn shows it as being enjoyable.
Wow, I hadn't really thought about it at that level. So like 50 years ago, like the first date's over. Should I kiss her? Now it's like, we're about to end sex. Should I come on her face? And she's like, is he going to come on my face? And that causes a lot of awkward looks. The third is that guys watching porn will see guys who don't have any pubic hair, and they'll come to think, like women of old, that that will be expected of them.
You know, yeah, that's definitely why this pubic grooming fad came about, especially in women and then eventually in men, was that upon like the emergence of pornography. The emergence of pornography. Well, they started being able to do close-ups and things like that. So they started to realize that this hair is just getting in the way. And so it started with women, and that they would just end up shaving them down completely. And then men who were watching porn decided that that is what women are supposed to look like. And so it became the thing that women started doing because they thought that that was what men wanted, and it became a cycle. And so actually pubic grooming came from porn. And it's the same thing with men. Because now they're all bare-chested and all oiled down, and they're just supposed to be slippery and smooth. And sometimes that's great, but you know, I don't quite understand why we rid ourselves of body hair, because it just makes us look prepubescent, and there's something odd about that to me.
Another thing, people very often see porn and they think that that is causing guys to have unrealistic expectations of female bodies. It also might be causing guys and girls to have unrealistic expectations of male bodies, because the average male porn star weighs 27 pounds less than the national average for men. They're also, by the way, almost 10% more likely to have a tattoo and 13% more likely to have a body piercing. So what do you think about that? That your idea of male bodies might be warped by pornography?
Oh, I totally agree. I think that porn in general does that. It normalizes fantasy as reality. Pornography is not real. It's not how real sex necessarily works for either gender, and to grow up on this and to experience porn before you're ever sexually active can be a little bit detrimental to your psyche about sex. And I don't want to do a shameless plug for a movie, but Don John's a really great, I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I would have guessed you would.
But that movie is actually a really great representation of what being like addicted to porn can do to your values of sex and your expectations of men or women in that regard.
Yeah. Finally, the idea that because there's not that many male porn stars in comparison to the females, there's this idea that you're supposed to have sex with lots and lots of women because they've seen the same guy having sex with many porn stars. There's a study of porn. The 10 most prolific male performers had slept on screen with 1,013 different women, 45 women per year for 22 years. Now, the 10 most prolific women, by comparison, had only slept with 148 different men. So that's almost a factor of 10 more women. And so if you're a regular guy, and you see the same just disgusting guy who has to make vocal noises when you're just trying to enjoy yourself, you might think that that's normal, that you're supposed to sleep with that many women. And that could make you feel bad about yourself.
Don't sleep with that many women.
One other thing not often used in porn are condoms, but you should use them. And if you're out, you can go to the link in the description below, stock up at condomjungle.com, and hump responsibly.